always remember that the tarot is for entertainment purposes only. Otherwise, you might end up counting cards instead of sheep when you are trying to get to sleep. Hello, my name is Jordan, but you can call me Supreme Grand Master of the High Draconian Priesthood of Orion. I'm just kidding. Just call me Jordan, please, and thank you. I personally find titles to be a rather pretentious concept, but they do have this peculiar tendency to make people feel better about themselves. My intention for creating this video is to serve as a quick and harmless demonstration for all the aspiring tarot readers of the world, and of course to hopefully impress stunningly gorgeous individuals such as yourself, who have graciously chosen to honor both me and the tarot with their presence and attention.
You guys are a joke.
Ignore Captain Joke's belligerent comment. There clearly must be an easily offended bedwetter. Why else would they have taken such offense? Did they even take the time to read the disclaimer? In case you're all wondering, Captain Joke had recently chosen to share both their opinion and stench on the comment section of my previous video, which also happened to be my first video ever that I've personally created. Now that everyone else is finally caught up on recent events, I'm now going to take a considerable delight in peeling off Captain Joke's dignity, as if they even had any to begin with, like peeling off the rind of an orange. Speaking of peeling, how often do you think they have to repaint the walls of their home, assuming, of course, that they're not presently homeless? I could imagine far less often if they actually bathed at all. Whatever Captain Joke's reasoning, I suggest they keep their filth and stink as far away as possible from myself and those watching, or they will be staying outside with the rest of the feral creatures of the internet. Could you imagine being married to such an ornery little troglodyte of a creature? Are there actually people in this world willing to physically touch this thing, never mind capable of tolerating its incessantly pervasive body odor? Since Captain Joke clearly possesses the intellectual prowess of the proverbial red-headed stepchild, as a courtesy, I will take a moment of time to explain the concept of intelligent conflict resolution in a manner they ought to be capable of comprehending, but I honestly doubt it. What is intelligent conflict resolution? Number 1. Understand what is happening, and then understand why it is happening. For example, what is the issue, if there even is an issue, between yourself and myself? Number 2, understand your own conflicting point of view and how it relates to them. For example, what personal issue could I potentially have with being called a joke? Number 3, understand their conflicting point of view and how it relates to yourself. For example, what could have caused them to label myself as a joke? Number 4, understand what can be done to avoid unnecessary discord. For example, what could be said alternatively to avoid unnecessary hurt feelings? Number 5, understand what can be done to achieve a mutually beneficial outcome. For example, what could be done to resolve the potential animosity between us both? Since the most ideally relevant subject of the previous reading by myself and the tarot has so graciously revealed themselves, we shall now retell our previous story of aspiration, commotion, and unpleasantry. Thus, I will repeat the previous 3-card spread, but with a slightly more unique and entertaining twist relating to our contentious guest. In case you are unfamiliar with a tarot spread, I will give a very brief description. A spread is the layout that the tarot cards are placed within, and usually has a specific role associated with each card within that sequence. For instance, in this case, the first card is meant to represent the main subject of the reading, while the second card is meant to represent the primary obstacle, and the third card is meant to represent the closing outcome. This helps to create a consistent flow between the cards and establishes the overall plot. I shall hastily and immediately begin this reading to accommodate our expedient yet belligerent guest by first shuffling and then placing down the spread. Don't worry yourselves about the presence of this minor nuisance, as they will not interfere with this inspirational journey of amusement, insight, and contemplation. The first part of our voyage begins by shuffling the tarot deck and then drawing the first card. The first card is the 6 of Swords and serves as the main subject of the reading. It is usually reputed to represent leaving behind unpleasant circumstances or moving onward in pursuit of more pleasant situations, but can also occasionally represent running away from problems. It may sometimes also represent self-protection and perseverance against obstacles and adversity. Like the majority of the cards within the tarot, it most often contains both a positive and negative significance. For instance, Captain Joke, despite their vindictiveness and in their incessant need for self-gratification, chooses to move ever onward in desperate search of the most convenient source of cheap dopamine available to them. Thus discovered my little corner of the internet. Having felt overcome by the onslaught of boredom and drudgery, takes it upon themselves to search for greater significance, development, and personal fulfillment within their own life. Or at least one can only hope. This desperate bid to thwart their own lackluster would inevitably steer them towards their next course of action, which is represented by the second card to be drawn. The second card to be drawn is the 5 of Rods and serves as the main obstacle of the overall plot. The 5 of Rods is reputed to represent rivalry, arguments, and competition between individuals. It can also potentially represent a conflict between mental and emotional aspects within ourselves. While this conflict can be tumultuous and hectic at times, it is generally not of a malicious nature. Speaking of conflict, the greatest aspiration of the common variety internet troll is to incessantly and recklessly pursue strife and misery for their own amusement and sport, particularly at the personal expense of others. Trolls can be considered as the metaphorical equivalent of a blood-sucking tick. This is why they are ceaselessly seeking to embed themselves within the situations and circumstances of other people's business and lives, and is the same reason they spend most of their lives with their head embedded up their own arse. This is usually the consequence of their emotionally crippled nature preventing them from overcoming their deeply personal sense of inadequacy. Thus, they are forever doomed to provoke external validation from others as a means of measuring their own self-worth. At first glance, this may seem discouraging, but that is until you sufficiently realize the fun you're capable of having at their expense. This filthy little creature scampered all the way to my little corner of the internet just to insult me and my own, without so much as even providing any degree of constructive criticism. I would like to say I'm flattered, but I'm simply far too busy relishing the thought of verbally spanking the insolence out of this petulant, self-absorbed adult toddler with an internet connection. The third and final card to be drawn, which serves as the final outcome of the plot, is the Ten of Swords, which is generally reputed to characterize the failures and painful endings experienced in life. It can also represent betrayals or ill omens. On a more positive note, it can also signify the final ending of great hardship. Failure is a quality that is strikingly reminiscent of the conduct and behavior that Captain Joke has displayed on my channel. Instead of instilling the intended effect of inflicting suffering and doubt upon myself or others, Captain Joke has instead simply exposed key characteristics about their own defective psychology for everyone else to witness and begrudgingly learn from. The main purpose of this conduct is seldomly benevolent, but it does often cause us to reflect upon ourselves and our actions, whether for better or worse. Captain Joke is really just disappointed in themselves for unsuccessfully achieving immediate self-gratification. But instead of taking personal responsibility for their own actions, they instead choose to project their feelings of disappointment onto others, to alleviate their own hurt feelings. Why? Low self-esteem and a ceaseless fixation to continually prop up their own flaccid ego, perhaps? And what can we learn from reflecting upon Captain Joke's actions? One of the most important lessons to learn is that you cannot please everyone, and that by merely existing, you can become a target for the vicious intentions of trolls. This should not discourage you, however. In fact, it should be quite an uplifting experience. How can this be, you say? Because even a troll can be trolled. There are times in life for talking, and there are times in life for walking. Pick one, Captain Joke, while you still have a modicum of self-respect left to spare. Or would you like me to taunt you a second time? What is the overall moral of this story, you say? Don't F around and find out, because Captain Joke sure did. This presently marks the end of our journey, but I hope this is certainly not the last of our adventures together. This has been both myself and the tarot's cautionary tale of the undesirability and unpleasantness of consequence, and I hope you enjoyed it. This little project of mine was meant to serve as an experiment to further my creative pursuits and endeavors. I would like to sincerely thank you for watching. If you appreciated what you saw, or you didn't, then be sure to let me know in the comments section. If you would like to encourage me to create more of this particular content, then please let me know by liking and subscribing, but only if you really want to. God bless, and thank you for sharing your precious and limited time with myself and the tarot.